So far, you've got a lot of information under your belt, and you've been going through a lot of stuff. We went through typography, we went through color, we went through planning out a design. Now it's time to put all of that together and start to actually go through the creative building process for a project. Here is your task in this challenge. You are to read through the creative brief, which is included in your exercise files folder. It's called Parmigiano's Brief. And you're going to read through this creative brief, and I'll go through it with you here in just a second. And once you're finished reading it, you're going to sketch out the projects that it is outlined, and then you are going to go through and develop a typography palette as well as a color palette for this business. Then when you come back and you watch the solutions video, I'm going to show you my choices for these and explain exactly why I chose what I did. So here's the creative brief. First of all, the client is Parmigiano's Pizzeria and Deli. They are located in New York. It is a pizzeria and deli actually located in Brooklyn. They're a new establishment, and they specialized in unique custom pizzas. So that's something that you need to play up in the design probably. The prices are low, making it a great place for families and groups. And their founder, Scott Rosillo, a.k.a. Papa Parmigiano, is originally from Italy and enjoys making traditional cuisine with a modern twist. And in parentheses here, I've written, see menu details. So when we get the menu details, they told us that it'll all become clear once you see how off the beaten path and eclectic this menu is. So hopefully we'll have that to look at before we actually start laying out the menu. Now, the project overview. Parmigiano's is looking for a complete overhaul of their logo and branding and also their menu, and they want something modern, easily recognizable, and fun. So they want a logo and they want a menu. Those are the two things I need to know. What am I building? I'm building a logo, I'm building a menu. The goal. They want to attract new business and provide a better menu experience for their customers. The current menu is a chalkboard that sits on top of the counter. So right now they don't even have a menu. They do have a logo, which we'll get to in a minute, but they don't have a menu. So this is completely from scratch. We're creating this thing. The target audience, new clients and returning customers. So you want to attract everybody who already comes, and then everybody else who's walking by, you want them to come in the door too. The message, they want this thing to be really fun and really upbeat with bright colors that stimulate the appetite. They want to make a splash because the location where they are is very busy and they want to be able to cut through the noise. So they want something unique in the visual that just attracts people in. The client has also provided several photos of menu items and staff, so we can take a look at those. And we are to use these for inspiration during the logo creation and menu design process. The founder, Papa Parmigiano, would also like to be featured in the logo in some way. So keep that in mind as you're sketching ideas for what this thing is going to look like. The specifics needed: bold colors, distinct, easily identifiable mark. The logo needs to scale across the collateral that they have, so business cards, websites, menus, etc. And online ordering being featured somewhere in the design of the menu, I'm guessing, is a plus. Now, this is the case where I would probably go back to the client and say, okay, now you want online ordering to be featured in the menu, right? Not in the logo. So this is something you would need to clarify. But overall, this is a pretty complete creative brief, and I think we have a great place to start. So before I turn you loose, let's actually look at some of these assets that the Parmigiano's restaurant has given us. So what I'm going to do is jump into an application called Adobe Bridge CC. You can open this up. It comes with the Adobe Creative Cloud, and you can open this up and then navigate to your folders. So I just went into the exercise files folder for this specific challenge, and this is where I found all of this information, so I can see all of these little photos. It's just thumbnails, but they're actually really big. And so I can see, okay, we've got breadsticks, we've got a guy holding a pizza, we've got some lasagna, and what I'm gonna make this window bigger so you can actually see a bigger picture of this. Here we go. Okay. So here's some breadsticks. There's the guy holding the pizza, so that's kind of cool. They also sell pasta, meatball subs, apparently. This is their old logo, which reminds me sort of like Microsoft clip art. And so we really need to sort of modernize that and make it whatever we need to make it. Here's a shot of the outside of the building with some clients or customers outside, so we might want to use that in some way. This is Papa Parmigiano, and I'm guessing he is who inspired this logo right here. So kind of looks like him, maybe a few years ago. But anyway, he wants to be featured in some way in the logo. So, of course, he has a very distinct look. He wears the big chef's hat, and he's got the big mustache and things like that. So keep that in mind as you're sketching your stuff out. There's a big pepperoni pizza for us to play with, a pizza peel, big pizza being featured on a table, and then, of course, they've got a wine glass as well. So we'll figure out what to do with all of this once we actually start creating the menu a little bit later on. But I want you to use all of this as inspiration for your sketches. So this can take you as long as you want. I'm not going to give you any time constraints on this. So what I want you to do is print out the sketch templates that I gave you. And I want you to print off 2 of them, one for the logo and one for the menu. And I want you to just go through on the first sheet. I want you to do the logo. Think of anything you can think of that represents this brand just based off what you know and the pictures that you have access to. And I want you to develop just a series of thumbnails that correspond to this brand. Then I want you to go ahead and sketch out all of the ideas you have for the menu. Is it going to be a trifold, a bifold, a quadfold? Is it going to be a 1 page? Is it going to be 2 pages? How big is this menu going to be? Now, in the creative brief, it said that the menu was kind of small, so we want to keep that in mind. We don't have a lot of information to play with because most of what they do is custom pizza creation. So maybe there's just a big section on there for all the ingredients that they have. Maybe there's not so many rows and rows and rows of items that are priced and all that good stuff. So keep that in mind, but just think general shape. Don't think details, just general shape. Is it going to be 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17? How big do you want this thing to be? When you come back and watch the solution video, I'm going to walk you through all of my personal thoughts and ideas that I went through as I was creating mine. I'll also walk you through my choices for my typeface palette and my color scheme. Take some time, go through, work out all of these details. This is going to take you some time, and then when you're ready, come back and we'll get together and discuss everything that we've created.